Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a Monday podcast, and this will actually be a channeled message. I am recording this on July 15th, 2024, after some big energies have come up on the planet, and I was guided to not follow my scheduled topic and rather focus on a message that would be of the most service and is shared with that intention. As we move through turbulent, divisive energies, it is our opportunity and our responsibility to stay mindful and conscious of how we show up, of how we are aware of what we are thinking, feeling, and saying, of how energy is moving through us, of what we are sensing, and to be more intentional around what we then take out into the collective as essentially an energetic offering. Now, the energies that I feel and sense are quite galactic in nature. They are very high vibrational in their frequencies, and they feel like a collective consciousness that is cohesive and wise, that also has a high vibrating intention for humanity. There is a benevolence, a love, an offering of support, but also an understanding that we are the ones responsible for the direction of the planet, that there cannot be what they're calling unauthorized interventions. That is not part of what this chapter of evolution is about. Rather, this is about humanity stepping in to more of its individual and collective power. And that is, of course, a tricky equation. There is no straight recipe or clear formula, and yet there is guidance available. There is assistance. There are multiple approaches to beneficial outcomes. There are multiple ways to navigate the turbulence and high activations on the planet at this time. And they're saying that it's important to expand your horizon, expand your viewpoint, and not think there has to be one direction, one solution, or one particular outcome. They're saying, in fact, there isn't. There are multiple ways that experiences can be elevated, that you can move ahead with improved outcomes and into a better way of living. But they're saying we are in very turbulent energies that will continue for the next few years. They're reminding me of a channeled message I offered you publicly. It is on my YouTube channel under channeled messages. And it was using the description of a road trip and how as you go through many environments, whether you are driving through a city, a desert, a forest, open plains, or big canyons, the terrain is always changing, always requiring more from you. And that's what this time is about. More is being required of you that you've already been learning. You've already been understanding. Now apply it. Now live it. Now use it wisely. Now use it with a deeper connection to your soul's GPS, to your soul's navigational abilities. Apply it, because this is where your wisdom and your realistic application of these tools matters most, where you can create more high vibrational energies in the physical world, in what you would call the 3D, the matrix, the physical environments that you're around, where while there are millions who are on an ascension path, there are also millions who are not. And it's important to acknowledge that and accept it, understanding that everyone is on their own trajectory of growth that's perfect for them, and nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. There's no need for judgment. There's no need for overthinking it. The faster you can get to acceptance, the easier it's going to be. Each person is moving through their own soul lessons and healing, their own growth, their own opportunities for personal awareness and personal understanding. and they get to choose what they want and how they want to create their lives. And so for the millions who resonate with the ascension journey and who know at the same time how hard that is, how much is required of you, it's not the easier path. It's in fact the tougher path at first, because you're learning what it means to rise up out of your own limitations, your own fears, facing things head on, understanding what needs to be healed or what karma needs to be closed out and dealt with. This is where you're in more of your power than perhaps any lifetime before. And this alone can be scary at times because you're testing your power, you're testing your energy in these new environments to see what works for you, what's in alignment with your energy frequency, and what you are here to embody in this lifetime. And so this is a time to walk the talk, and they're showing me the visual of the rubber hits the road, where for many years the planet has been accelerating and a lot has been happening quickly to the point that it is head spinning, but that's exactly what's needed. And so one of the best things you can do is stay in your high vibrational state, your energetic wisdom, stay in your understanding of the power of energy. They're bringing me right to universal spiritual laws, and the universal spiritual laws that revolve around cause and effect, which we may call as karma, the universal spiritual laws around divine oneness, the universal laws of collective vibration, the law of relativity, the law of detachment. The universal spiritual laws are always in play. And how are you consciously honoring them, respecting them, and working with them wisely as a powerful creative force of energy on the planet? So now is the opportunity to apply what you've been learning and to be more responsible than ever with your energies. And they guided me to title this channeled message as Establishing Your 5D Values, your fifth dimensional values that will help you stay the course, focus on what matters to you now, allow you to grow and develop in a way that honors your energy and your needs, and also helps you in having a place to go that I'm seeing it as an anchor in the higher realms where you don't get swept away by any 3D energy forces where previously you would have. Previously, perhaps you would have allowed a division to occur. And as I say the word division, they bring me right to the body, and they show me a split in the energy field in our physical body. And they're saying that part of what we can practice and test is our ability to remain balanced amongst the polarity and duality, amongst the divisive energies, and to allow yourself to be more internally cohesive, where you can be more detached. And they're saying this is actually a quite simple process where you will have a comfort zone in your belief systems. You will have something that naturally resonates with you, that you believe, that supports your energy, that you perhaps feel strongly about. And they're saying one thing you can practice is then sitting on the other side of that energy, where if you feel very strongly about one side, how do you feel when you go to the other side? And they're showing me how many of us write with our right hands, and how our right hand is very well developed in our ability to write our names, to be the dominant hand, to take care of the most things. We don't even think about it. Then test those same abilities with the left hand that isn't going to feel as strong or comfortable during certain tasks. Maybe you've heard before that simply learning to brush your teeth with the opposite hand, with the non-dominant hand, is a way to strengthen the muscles of that hand, but it also opens up new neuroprogramming in the brain. It tests the brain to try something new in coordination, balance, action, movement. So they're showing me this, that you probably feel more comfortable on one side of your body, but you're gifted with two sides of the body. You're gifted with two hands, two arms. So if you were to test yourself, make it a fun game, allow yourself to practice with the other hand, you're allowing yourself to be more balanced. It's creating an internal connections that are new and that are more holistic. And they're saying you can do the same with your energetic beliefs, with your energetic understandings by sitting on the other side of the fence and looking at how uncomfortable that might make you at first, at how foreign that feels, at the resistance that comes up. And it's not as if you have to stay in a place for long, but they're saying practice this energetic balance because it's going to help you understand new potentials of unity. And that is the bigger overarching message, is unity. It's less about the right or wrong, better, worse, lens or perceptions. It's more about the unity that can be created that humanity has not created before. And they're saying this is one of the multiple outcomes of this energy that you're in. It's the rising above of the division. It's the rising above of what you assumed. Essentially, the assignment is, how can you be a newer version of yourself in these energies? How can you step into more of your mastery, your balance, your empowered energetic state that supports your soul growth in this lifetime? And it's funny because getting back to visualizing the body being split, I'm seeing this as two different, I'm going to say, costumes in the body. So on the right side, I'm seeing I'd say a soldier, a warrior, someone that is masculine, ready for a fight, ready for the battle, equipped for the unknown. I'm seeing armor and I'm seeing a very strong, steady gaze. And then the other side of that same body, I'm seeing a feminine energy that I would describe as more of a caretaker. I feel a mothering energy. I'm seeing perhaps what we would describe in America as a pilgrim, very simple, very practical, very aware of daily needs. And as I'm looking at these two energies that are in the same body, it's a representation of two lifetimes of roles. And that if you resonate with this, you might also start to see for yourself two representations of energies that you've experienced in your soul's journey that are coinciding in this lifetime. And they could be wildly different. And of course, they could be very active and alive in current lifetimes that are playing out right now in other timelines. And so they are showing me that we are each coming up against or working through the various belief systems we've held across multiple lifetimes that can be varied and oppositional. And they represent different parts of our soul's experience where we've literally been on different sides of the fence. And we've held certain levels of righteousness or perhaps certain levels of detachment. Perhaps you are visualizing an energy before you where one side of the body is a priest and the other side is a nun, or one side is a king and the other side is a pauper. I mean, it's very extreme is what I'm seeing in this presentation of the energies. So simply trust anything that you're feeling about yourself, but this is where it could help you identify any energetic splits or oppositional forces within you that you're feeling or sensing. And of course, only trust it if it resonates. Don't make it fit if it doesn't. But they're saying this is a way to understand what the human ascension journey is moving through right now as we are in higher timelines working with higher vibrating frequencies, and we have access to even more of our soul's journey than ever before. And these energies could be pulling you out of the current present moment. They could be strongly triggered and activated. They could be dormant and quiet. Of course, there's many ways the energies can be expressed. But what they're saying is these are also parts of yourself that are ready to connect with higher 5D values. So establishing your 5D values is where you elevate out of what you have attached to in the 3D, where there could be parts of your reality that, yes, are very valuable to you. But if you inquire further, you might realize they're only grounded in the 3D structures. They're only about this physical world, this modern society. They're only about your present reality and the life you're living now. They're saying go higher into your 5D values and get curious about what those are. Stay open to what those could be. What keeps your energy consistent in the higher realms? What uplifts you? What returns you to peacefulness and calm? Stay aware of that. What elevates you in a way that's loving and supportive of who you are? How then can you apply a practice that allows you to reach that higher state of your 5D values regularly? Is there a certain meditative process? Is there a particular trinket or something on your desk that represents that connection? How can you go higher into your 5D values that remind you of your power at a soul level and the peaceful frequency that you naturally embody? Part of taking a body and coming onto the planet involves splitting, involves the fractures, and having to choose a particular assignment in this lifetime. How can you return to the higher wisdom of your soul that knows not only is it temporary, but you have the opportunity to reconnect and choose those higher frequencies whenever needed? Whenever needed. They're showing me you just yank on the bell. You just yank on something and there it is. It's that reminder. In fact, that could be something that you use to return to your 5D values is sound. Is the sound of a bell or something that clears the energy waves. And they're showing me a gong and how the power of a gong does energy clearing. And they're showing me that gong actually specifically on the third eye chakra as it clears out other brain waves or residual energies. And it can bring you back into a fresh energy state. They're showing me how this could be a very simple practice that allows you to mentally, emotionally, energetically clear out something that becomes too heavy. So as simple as a gong, a drum, any particular form of music or instrument that resonates with you could be something that supports you in elevating to your 5D values. They're saying that one of the important ways to approach this is through detachment from your personal, deep emotional triggers, responses, wounding, reactions, anything that comes out without intention or mindfulness. That this is an opportunity now to take a step back and process privately what you're feeling, to process it responsibly, and to not hold back your power, but to be intentional with what you offer into the collective. And that this is something that also affects the collective energy in higher or lower ways. But this is how we are practicing energetic responsibility, and we're aware of what we do, say, express, and share. Establishing your 5D values is where you begin to understand more about what guides you through this life, of what you turn to that is that anchor and that source of strength. Where do you go when you need it most? How do you return to that energy in your own consciousness that's always available, always accessible? But with the 5D energies, you have to rise up to them. So for example, when you are really connected or wound up by what's happening here in the big evolutionary changes on the planet that will continue, that are going to continue, you're going to have multiple opportunities to practice this multiple times, where you will need to not only be intentional and mindful, but energetically responsible in a whole new way. And you're doing it from a source of your own wisdom, a source of your own spiritual journey, and you're understanding that what I choose and how I want to work with this energy deeply matters at both an individual and collective level. And my driving intention of my 5D values is to bring greater peace, calm, light, happiness, prosperity, joy, abundance, playfulness, fun, laughter into my experiences. And so you could identify that you need a process to clear out the heaviness or density that comes up at times in order to raise your energy back up to those 5D values and frequencies. So one thing that's important as well is to take a broader perspective on your life. What does it mean to live a life that you love? What does that look like? And to not include material focuses, meaning not to focus on the 3D values that we could quickly or easily go to, but this is about the frequencies. What frequencies would support you in a life well lived? And then when you acknowledge and identify those, you have the ability to invite more of that energy in, to allow that to guide you and to open you up to more of what you desire and what you want. And part of the intense evolutionary changes that we're moving through over the next number of years is based on our ability to invite those higher frequencies into our daily reality, to invite those levels of joy, peace, happiness, playfulness, laughter, connection, love, camaraderie, to bring those into what we are moving through, to know that they're not outside of us, they are within us, to know that they are part of our divine birthright to experience at this time, that these are the energies that will continue to heal us and unite us and help us rise above what we are living through and realistically experiencing. So this is a time of inviting those energies into your life more, of allowing yourself to be guided by your 5D values. And if you need help with this guidance, you can ask. You can ask your guides, your angels, those that you connect to energetically and intuitively, and they will bring in answers. They will give you downloads, perhaps through your dreams or meditation, perhaps through a song and song lyrics, perhaps through a conversation that you overhear at a restaurant where someone says something and it just clicks for you. You're like, yes, that is speaking to me. Perhaps you hear something in a movie or a TV show that grabs your energy and you're like, this is a message for me. There's something here that is deeply resonating and reminding me of my 5D values. So stay open to those messages that can show up through any means, through multiple ways, and know that it's a beautiful time to be receptive to those messages. It's by establishing your 5D values that you will be able to maintain stability during very unstable times, and you'll be able to move through the turbulence with greater trust and belief and knowingness that you're fully equipped for this part of the journey. And again, they're showing me there are multiple ways that beneficial developments can unfold, but you have to be in the frequency that matches that energy. You have to be essentially on that path in order to be experiencing it from that perspective. And they're also saying to monitor your own perceptions of judgment. Monitor when you move into judgment, because it has been deep programming on the planet that has controlled us, that has created fear, that has limited our power. They're showing me the energy of judgment is still widely used and applied, often unconsciously, simply because it's familiar. But the more that you are personally observing yourself when you're in judgment, and to stay curious, why am I thinking this? Why am I going down this path? Why am I applying this perception or belief? What is that about? How is that serving me? Is it serving me? They're saying that one of the biggest areas of deconditioning and unprogramming we're doing is around judgment. They're showing me that there will be some areas of the planet that never remove it, that will always have judgment on their area of the playground. But you have options on your area of the playground, or where you move or where you go on the playground. So they're saying that the more you can detach from that judgment and perhaps assumptions or righteousness and stay open with a curiosity of what you're learning and understanding, you're going to feel lighter. And the lightness goes across timelines, because now they're showing me how we've had these multiple different soul experiences that have deeply involved judgment of some kind, and how many on the planet have been through lifetimes where that judgment was not used wisely and not used responsibly. So how can we change the pattern and the programming together? They're saying this is one of your biggest invitations at this time. How can you practice more expansive approaches to what you're seeing without division, without judgment, without doing what you've always done to divide yourselves? How can you be more expansive and inclusive, which will perhaps feel very odd and very foreign at first, and you could resist it. And they're saying that if you feel resistance to this, to what I'm sharing at this time, honor it. Honor the resistance. Don't force it. Don't force yourself to do something. Rather say, wow, I'm feeling a lot of resistance to this. The resistance is my teacher. The resistance holds wisdom. The resistance is showing me something important. So get curious about the resistance. The more expansive you can be around whatever comes up, the more you're going to learn and understand what you're healing at a soul level, but also how you're growing. And that's how they're saying it. They're saying you're moving through mammoth growth. The growing pains are real. And that's a beautiful acknowledgement of the human journey. The growing pains are real, and you feel it physically, where you can feel that you need more protein, you're hungrier, you need more water, you need more sleep. There's things that exhaust you faster. The energy is more intense, and you feel it more personally. But they're also saying this is exciting in the bigger picture of where humanity is going. And again, those potentials and beneficial developments that can unfold. And they're showing me, going back to that road trip analogy, they're showing me that there's multiple roads you can take in a collective sense, and they all lead to similar lessons, similar energies. Or even if you choose the path of the forest, there's certain energies you'll experience there that will match if you choose the path of the desert or the path of going into the city. There's still certain energies that we're going to move through whichever path unfolds. Use the wisdom of that. Trust the wisdom of that. And again, wherever you voyage and travel, take these 5D values with you. Bring them into those environments and those terrains. Travel with those energies. Allow them to be abundant within you. Allow yourself to overpack your bags with the 5D values. Like they're showing me a car with 8 suitcases and they're just overflowing with these 5D frequencies and energy signatures, whatever they are for you. And they're saying that's one of the best ways you're going to move through this terrain, this turbulence, because now you are different. You are a different human. You are a human that is more awake, that is truly on the ascension journey. And that is priceless because it also helps to guide us away from the karmic loops, the karmic patterns, the unconscious cyclical outcomes that many are exhausted from. They're saying that you are the change, you are the energy change, and it's up to you how you choose to embody that, to live it, and to be in your power in this way for the first time, perhaps ever in your soul's journey. And now I feel the message close out. I feel that is all I have to share with you at this time. I hope this has brought you whatever you may be needing or seeking at this time. And I hope it also provides you with empowering reminders of what we are capable of individually and collectively as we evolve on the planet together. Thank you so much for joining me for this message, and I look forward to sharing another channeled message with you soon. Take good care, and namaste.